Hi guys, hello. I'm live in Washington, D.C. today, and we're going to take a look at this reflecting pool sort of fiasco. What's happening here? What can we expect to see? Lots of news, of course, about what's been happening in the with the pool. Over $14 million in renovations was supposed to fix the leaks and the color, and we're going to see what it looks like. Renovations were supposed to fix the leaks and the color. There was a paint no bid contract awarded, and it's still being paid out. So let's see. That looks like that could be the president. That looks like that was the president, or at least his helicopters. Going somewhere. Okay. Okay. So here we are. The reflecting pool. The Lincoln Memorial, as you can see there. And you can see is greenish with algae. So we'll just go around. I'll go around and show you. We'll walk around, and then I'll talk to some people about the color. And you'll see. Very murky. There's algae blooms all over. And you can see. So over $14 million has been spent to make this a little bit clearer. And as we can see, it's not that clear, my friends. It was promised. It started out as $1 million and has ballooned to over $16 million. A company was awarded a no-bid contract that would use antimicrobial paint, blue paint, but clearly it's here, as you can see. And so we'll walk around and see if there's chipping. There has been one person arrested for allegedly messing or doing something. He says he was just touching the water, basically. But the president has blamed vandals on the failure of this project. But there are cameras everywhere, and there's no evidence of that. And so we'll see. It is beautiful. I used to live in DC. And so there's a camera set up there. But yes, it's not blue, it's green with algae. But it's still a beautiful sight, yes. It's still a beautiful sight. So you have the Lincoln Memorial here. And we'll walk around. And so you can see they're doing some work here. You can see some. So they're pumping something into the water there. There's about. It's a beautiful Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all those here. As you can see, they're protesting over there. See workers. As you can see, So this is not a traditional pool. It's pretty shallow. And so you can think of the reflecting pool as sort of like a shallow lake. It's really quite difficult to keep something this large clean. Um, but that was what was promised with this 1.8 initially price tag that has ballooned to almost, some estimates say, over $16 million. So to keep a shallow, clean pool clean, that is a breeding ground for algae and other contaminants, and with the sun, it's not an inexpensive feat. But that was what was promised. And we can see that promises often go unkept. And not only unkept, but can be expensive.
I realized when I came up,
So that's what you can see here. And it's really hot. I'm gonna go down here and turn around. I'm really getting my steps in today. And this heat, Lord, this heat. I can't tell you how warm it is out here, but I do not miss the humidity of DC. And if I wasn't doing this for you, I would not be outside. I would not be outside. You can see up close. Look how much algae. Within days of reopening, this is what you see. $16 million. Oh, I wish I had my bike. Honestly, very hot. Very, very hot. Okay. So if you're just joining, it's Dr. Brandon here live in Washington, D.C. today. And so we're just taking a look at the reflecting pool. It's full of algae bloom, and not the blue color expected that was painted recently. I'll give you some fun facts pretty soon. Oh, that breeze feels so good. So the project started with hopes to stop leaks and improve the pool's function. The pool would have been clearer and more reflective. A new coating, which Trump called the American flag blue, would have improved in reflections and appearance. The renovations would have addressed complaints about algae and discoloration and maintenance issues. But shortly after the opening, this is what we see. Within days of the reopening, algae returned and portions of the pool appeared green. As you can see, it's more than just portions. It's a lot of the pool is green. Some reports have emerged that the coating, the peeling of the paint has been seen, which with additional repair concerns. President Trump has argued that vandalism and chemicals allegedly were introduced into the pool, which contributed to the problems. As you can see, there are several cameras around this pool. And if that were to be the case, then we would have reports of that and see evidence. They were touted as long-term improvement conditions, but that was short-lived after a few days. What was started out as $1.8 million has quickly ballooned to some estimates over $16 million here. And you can see the algae bloom here. Lots of algae. Now, to say that this isn't difficult to clean and have maintenance, yes, it's very difficult to keep a fresh, shallow pool that's over 1,000 feet clean with the heat, pollutants, animals, etc. But that was what was promised as, at first, a $1 million solution. Now it's ballooned again to estimates over $16 million. And so this is what it is. Now, prior administrations have tried to clean this up. I think Obama spent $35 million to clean up this. You gotta remember this was made in the 1920s. So over 100 years of trying to keep this sort of as its function. But prior administrations did not say that their solutions were final, and they did not have a no-bid process to award companies to clean this pool. So that's part of the controversy, is there wasn't a fair process to get contractors to do this cleanup. The ballooning price from $1.8 million to over $16 million by some estimates. The painting of the bottom, which was supposed to be antimicrobial and anti-algae, clearly that is not the case. And so you can see. And yes, it was supposed to be ready by 4th of July. Not sure if this will be ready by the 4th of July. But as you can see, there are cameras here everywhere.
Probably included.
And you can see people taking pictures of the pool. It's a lot here. Quite a bit of algae in this area. Within days of just opening, which has bloomed to about estimates of $16 million. And allegedly, according to the contract, it should have been antimicrobial algae paint. But again, as you can see, that is not happening here. And also you can see just around here there are cameras and also uniformed officials around. So if there were anyone to drop anything into this, someone would see, as President Trump has claimed it's been vandalized. By the way, thank you so much for watching me here on Dr. Brandon Live in DC. Green all over. Now, I used to live here, and I don't remember looking particularly at this pool. So this is the first time ever for me, I guess, or that I can recall, that I've actually looked into this body of water. So this is about 6.75 million gallons of water in this pool. 6.7 million gallons of water. And so you can imagine how much effort and money it would be to keep this body of water clean and clear. It requires lots of pumps. It requires, of course, maintenance. And it can turn green because of the temperature outside. The sunlight is intense here, as you hear me complaining about the sun. Nutrients are present, and just the biological balance can be, interrupted or disrupted by draining and refilling. They would probably have to vacuum or drain this. And actually adding more water, as they did, is of course a breeding ground. They don't use chlorine, they use ultraviolet hydrogen peroxide and other combinations to keep this clean. And you saw, if you saw on a couple of days ago or so, they were actually pouring some hydrogen peroxide into the pool. And so the controversy here is this solution that Trump said for at first $1.8 million has ballooned to almost a little bit over 16 million. Sticker price shock. Yes, sticker price shock. Which, again, prior administrations have tried to clean this pool up. However, they didn't promise this was it. They didn't promise that this was the final solution. They didn't promise that they could do it better. And we can see they did not. You said yes, he did. Who promised that their solution would be better, the best, the ultimate? So yeah, it costs a lot of money. We're not disputing that it would cost millions to keep this clean. However, it needs more than just a surface touch-up, like paint that promised also to be antimicrobial and algae resistant paint. This is not that. And there was no bidding process. So in government contracts, there's a bidding process where companies present their plan and it's supposed to be a fair process, but this did not happen during this. It was, president says he doesn't know this company, but we know from the past the president often does not know anyone, right? He never knows anyone, which is fascinating. The president who knows everyone knows no one when there's a problem. I think it's okay to say you made a mistake, or you have failed, or something didn't work out. It's okay. We're human. Okay, I can't read your comments because the sun's on. It's real with the TDS is so real.
He touched it, he turned to slime.
The Trump derangement syndrome is so real with these people. I think that's a sort of TDS. That's what the president named it himself. He came up with this syndrome. That's something I would say a narcissist would say. It's everyone else who has something to, if I do anything wrong, it's you have a problem. I don't know. Fascinating. Yeah, it looks nice. I think it looks nice. I mean, it's not what was promised, but it's still, I like water. The Green Mile, that's funny. He actually spent 35 million, not 34 million. So yes, many administrations have spent money on this. The thing is, the difference here is President Trump said he would finally fix this for $1.8 million. That price tag has ballooned to estimates over $16 million. Also, he did not use a bidding process to fix this. So we don't know how these people got this contract to fix this for once and for all. So it's not that it's other administrations haven't fixed this. It's that when President Trump does something, he touts it as the best, the biggest, the greatest, instead of just doing things, which is fine. Every president has tried. Every president has tried a lot of different things, but they don't say that they know how to do it better than anyone else. Many of them. And we see that it oftentimes is not the best, the greatest. It's mediocre. And it's okay. I think most of us can admit when we're wrong and when we don't do something that well. Most of us can come out and say that. Most of us can admit when we have not reached the level that it should. But oftentimes, we see that bicyclists ride by and tell us to move. They say, hello, this is not a bicycle space. Anyway. So where was I going? He infected the Fix-It and made it worse. It was a sole source contract. People confuse no bid. So people don't confuse anything. This is not just you saying it. People actually look up facts and check contracts. So the word salad you're using, it was a no bid contract to speed up this. When you say people, it's media. It's people who have investigated. Not someone who touts things just because. Like there's no evidence that someone has tampered with this, but that was posted by the president. And when we have misinformation, it becomes a thing of who do we believe? The people with facts or the people who just say things? And everyone is, who is yelling? I can't see what y'all are saying. So this sign is, first they came for the algae.
I need some pond scum. But if I go in there, the National Guard is going to arrest me for trying to get food. Just like the administration, this regime don't care about people going hungry. Woo! Let's go on. Let's go.
So I told you that Obama administration spent $35 million. Previous administrations have spent money on this, and it needs to be continued to be spent, because if you're trying to keep this clear, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. That's why it's been a problem for decades. But you have to put money into these resources. Like I said, it costs a lot of money to keep this clear. And does it really have to be clear? I think that's a question that we have to ask ourselves. Do we really want to keep this clear? Does it have to be clear? Does it have to be blue? Does it have to be any color? Can it just be a body of water? Because to keep it clear, it's going to cost millions and millions and millions of dollars every year to do so. And is it even worth it? That's a better question. Is it even worth it to keep it like this? He said, screw the water. That's a question. Do we need to keep this water clear? I mean, many people have marched alongside this, but do we know there was no conflict of interest? We do not know. We do not know. President Trump says he does not know. He did not know the company. We do not know if there was a conflict of interest that persisted. Just a body of water to reflect and save space. Yeah, can we, do we have to have it clean and clear? That sounds like, what is that, Neutrogena, clean and clear and under control? Do we have to have it clean and clear and under control? Is that something that we have to have? I don't know. I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure. Okay, so I did one round around this pool. Again, this pool is about over 6 million gallons of water here. So the pool was built in around 1922 to 1923. It opened first in 1923. It's located between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. As you can see, the Lincoln Memorial is here, and the Washington Monument is there. One of the most famous places. It's approximately 2,029 feet long, which is about 3/4 of a mile. It's approximately 167 feet wide. It holds 6.7 million gallons of water. And the depth is about 18 inches to 30 inches. So it's really shallow. It's more than a 1/3 mile long. It holds nearly 7 million gallons and has been a backdrop for many important moments in history.
I need some pasta! I need some pasta! Woo!
She says, she says, let's grow pun. She wants some pun scum.
On three, we go. Team Magic! On three, 1, 2, 3. Team Magic! Woo!
Me next. Me next.
Yeah, I'd like you to have a line.
Team Magic! Come on.
So this is someone who supports algae in the reflecting pool.
Yeah. Yeah. Team Magic!
There's a line
Team
growing.
Magic! Team Magic! Team Magic!
She's
I am hungry! I need some pasta!
Thank you.
Okay, tell me, left? Okay, I don't know, I have no idea. Okay. Who is that? Is that John Colony? Okay. Team Magic! Woo! Team Magic!
Me next. Don't move.
Okay, don't move.
Okay, smile.
Okay, now.
By the way, thank you guys for watching. You have helped me to get over 9 million views live here. I mean 9 million, I'm sorry, 1 million views. Nearly 1 million. So hopefully by the end of this week or this month, I'll have 1 million views, which is an incredible feat here on TikTok Live to get 1 million views live. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. So thank you for tapping. Thank you for tapping. Thank you for tapping the screen. Thank you for tapping the screen. In the last week, you've helped me get over 90,000 in the last week and a half views on TikTok Live. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for tapping the screen. Thank you for tapping the screen. I can't see. Let me see. The sun, it makes it hard. How long is it going to last? I'm not for sure. They're cleaning out. Call for 2 hours. Look up online. What are you doing? So I'm just showing this lady. She's well, I don't know what she's doing, but she's talking about how she likes the algae in the pool. She's probably an environmentalist or so. Not for sure. Political satire. Okay. Yes. I don't know. I could ask her, but I don't feel like it right now. So one of my friends had a pond in the back of their yard. And so I just remember how many times he would get it clean, and then like a couple of days later, it was like back to green. Algae, like, you know, like fungus or anything, it's really hard to get rid of. So the question is not about like, you know, the difficulty in cleaning. I think it's more about what was promised to the American people. I think if you were to promise, oh, okay, let's just clean it up, let's do our best to try to make this better, that's completely different from, I can do it better than no other president. This is going to be very cheap. This is going to be, you know, all these superlatives. And days after completion, it's back to, I think that's what we're here for. And aside from the contracts, if there's conflicts of interest, those are the things we're here for. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So you can make mistakes. You can try your best to do something, but I think it's how it's done and what's being said. When you say you're the best at doing something, people are going to be watching and expecting you to perform. That's just natural. If I said I was the fastest runner in the world and I came in 60th place, wouldn't you question me? Yeah, that's what happens. So yeah, I'm out here. There's been a lot of coverage and about how much more money is going to be spent on this, because it was initially going to be a project that was going to be cheap and expensive. $1.8 million. Now it's upwards of $16 million of taxpayer money. It could have just stayed like it was. It's 60 million. No wonder he went to bring. Both sides are horrible, wasteful spending, nepotism. I just think my larger question is: do we really need this to be clear? Because no matter whose administration, it's going to cost a lot of money. I don't know. We may decide that we do need it to be clear, but to keep a pool that is over 6,000 gallons of water from being dirty is going to cost some money. I mean, think about how much it costs to run bath water. Some of you have been showering or taking baths a little bit more in a month, right? That water bill comes back. It costs money. It costs money. You stop whining. I don't know who you're talking to, but no one's whining. I hate when people get on and say stop whining when they're the one whining online. You're whining in my comments. You're doing the behavior that you're telling someone else to stop. It's hypocritical and it's ridiculous. And this is my life. And so if you don't like it, you can exit. Please do exit, because I don't like spending time talking to people like that. Thank you so much. Go do whatever. It's Father's Day. If you're not a father, go celebrate someone. So this is my account, and I don't have to deal with anyone I don't want to deal with, which is great. Go somewhere else. This is a positive place. You can have your opinion, but we don't label people. We don't call people names. We definitely aren't annoying. I don't get online to be annoyed. I did. Yes, well, I think Obama spent $35 million. Not 34, I think it was 35. So, again, the point is not about spending money, because you're going to have to spend money to keep this clean. To keep over 6,000 gallons of water clean. Yes, so we know you're going to have to spend money. It's about how it's spent and what's promised. I don't know if you guys can make that distinction. And you remember when we were in school, when they say, a student hit someone, and then they immediately say, well, they did it. Well, they're not getting in trouble for it. It's you. And so we have to learn how to take accountability and be responsible. And I see that often happens when we're talking about one person. Okay, they did it. They did something. But this is not that.
They should arrest her for being.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. She says they should arrest her for being in a country where we want freedom of speech. It's only certain people's freedom of speech. If you don't like something, as long as you're not impeding on people's rights, you just ignore it. You cover your ears, go somewhere else, go to another space. This is all the things that I teach students, little first graders, to regulate themselves. Okay. I'm trying to read your comments, but it's sort of, is the dead baby duck still? Oh no, there's a dead baby duck. That's sad. I don't know. The reflecting pool is a historical landmark. It's not being turned into a playground. No. It's green. Yes, 35 million could have fixed it. I live in New York City. 35 million. I don't know how much money they've spent for the rat problem, but 35 million is if was spent, yes, to fix leaks, etc. But it's going to cost money, my friends, no matter what administration is here, to keep over 6,000 gallons of water crystal clear. I don't care what administration you're in, it's going to cost millions. So it's not about the money spent to upkeep this space per se. It's what was promised, how those contracts were awarded, and what are the results. Your entire profile is illustrating. Okay, I don't know. I can't read that.
At one point, Shashu?
Trillions in fraud.
No, when the waters are super fast. See?
That's okay. We can use the billions in Doge money to maintain it. That makes a lot of sense. Well, we're not going to talk about Doge because that was crazy. You have to have unqualified people using ChatGPT to decide what gets tossed or not. That's crazy. But we're not gonna, that's another topic for another day. You know they were using ChatGPT. I think that's came out in one of the depositions or something. I don't have that right now, but where it was. We need a way to audit government spending. We do. They have a whole office for that. We did not need Doge for that. Some guy, a rich, now trillionaire, to come in to determine what was wasteful. And some of the cuts that were made have wide-reaching impact, and we're still dealing with it. And he hired people from, in their 20s using ChatGPT to get rid of programs. That's really not good. I don't know how else to say. Jump in. Oh, so I can get arrested? I would not get in this dirty water. Although it's not that deep. I think it's at 18 to 30 inches. Gross. No. I don't smell anything. I can't smell anything. I don't smell anything.
But I'm pretty sure they planted it there so that they could catch us touching it because they're kind of anti-team. Have we?
Yeah.
No, really. From a distance.
They did they tell you directly don't touch the water, or did you hear that?
No, they just arrested some people, apparently.
Yeah.
Like that guy. Who was the guy? Who they arrest?
Yeah, so the Olympic,
A former Olympian.
Yeah, but he just stuck his hand in it, right?
I don't. That's what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he says. That's why I'm not taking the trash out today. There's pieces of garbage.
Oh, okay.
along the
So
edge. Don't pick them up.
what are you here for?
We're here to encourage algae. Actually, it's kind of turning into a spiritual thing for us.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here to encourage the algae to fight fascism for us, since Americans have been so bad at fighting a fascist dictator that the algae seems to be doing a much better job. So we're here to empower and support the algae.
Okay.
Yeah.
and have you seen the algae doing so far?
I think really it rallies. I think that's really the beauty of it, is that science is going to science. And no amount of some moron and his buddy who works on pools is going to fix science, right? Like they think that, but no, science is going to science no matter what.
So I've been asking a question. Why don't we just allow it to be what it is?
Algae.
Fascism?
Fascism?
Does it have to be clear?
No. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It was
Does
never clear.
fascism have to be clear?
Well, I think no. It gets to be whatever it wants.
I don't understand. Is
Make
it about
it-
fascism or the pool?
It makes up the rules as it goes along. But it thought it was going to be able to destroy science just by not acknowledging it. And this is just one of those little moments where it's like, oh no, you're so fucked. I love it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
What do you guys do? And
So when you're not doing this, what are you?
I have a day job. She mostly makes space for people to be who they need to be.
Somehow I survive, and yet somehow I survive.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of people in mutual aid. I work with a lot of activists. I do a lot of things. I do gig-based work. Sometimes if somebody's like hiring security for something or that kind of thing, or also a bartender. I do some catering, bartending. You know, whatever.
So what brought you out here? Like, how did you get attached to this? What's happening here? What? Why did you pick this as something to advocate for or against?
Honestly, I mean,
They,
the warrior goddess for the resistance
They
was the
provide
two
data that,
poles with the signs in between
Uh-huh.
all the time. She and I are trauma bonded from the Black Lives Matter Memorial Fence in 2020, and we've been, protesting various horrific, human rights violations by our government before and after that. But since we kind of brainstormed together as we're doing stuff, and this was one where we were just like, oh, we should go root for the algae. I wish we had pom poms.
Yeah.
And then we just came down and did it, and then we found other people who were interested in doing it. And
Okay, for people who may not understand, I know you say you're rooting for the algae, but what's underneath that rooting for the algae? What statement are you trying to push out there? What are you trying to say?
my number. Yeah, I'll give you my number. It's 313
well,
495 8347.
I'm not sure how to answer that concisely because there are too many injustices right now and constitutional violations and human rights violations that are being perpetrated by our government. That the thing that for some reason gets our wannabe dictators panties in a wad is what color the freaking reflecting pool is. They then have, pretty much systematically destroyed anything scientific, gotten rid of all their scientific advisors. Anybody who knows anything about science, it was all just a bunch of yes men and fluffers in the government, and
out there in their waders and all that.
science still happens. The algae still survives. The algae is going to replicate because it's hot, because it's moist, because things that you can't control, no matter how much power you have, and no matter how much money you steal from someone, and no matter how much you rob a country of their rights. You can't stop science.
For nature.
Nature, yeah.
And what's right and what's not
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's really what's underneath this is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
we have sucked as Americans showing up and defending ourselves against this. But the truth of the matter is, mocking and making fun of fascism is always the best course of action, and that's been proven throughout time in so many different places. I've met people who toppled fascist dictators recently, and yes, mocking and making fun of stuff is useful, and anything you can get a bunch of people gathered around. But the truth of the matter is, you can only do this fighting against something so long when you're angry. At some point you have to figure out how to do it and have fun with each other.
So I guess what you're saying is you're using humor as a way to cope with what's happening in this country.
Yeah, and make a stink about my voice matters.
Yeah.
Your voice matters. Everybody's voice matters. A lot of times what people want to write is, oh, and you didn't change anything by that. And my response is, neither did your mom. Because okay, I changed me a little. I had fun with my friends. I spoke out against something that I think is wrong. That it doesn't have to. You don't have to change everything. You just have to change our culture, and you have to have people believe that their voices freaking matter in order for them to be able to use them.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Be safe out here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good one, hon.
Thank you. Okay, so
We gotta find the word.
she was saying that she's using humor as a way to point to fascism, or point out the absurdity of fascism, the absurdity of all the problems that we have in this country, and the president is focused on a reflecting pool. So I think she talked about the historical use of humor to cause or call attention to political political sort of topics. And so that's why she's out here. And of course, it's been working. People are stopping by to ask and talk. And, you know, myself as a humorist and comedians always bring out, you know, comedy as a way to call out sort of these conditions in our world. And so that's what she's doing. And saying, even with this as a metaphor, as you can stop, you can try and try and try, but nature, science, always wins. So I'm here at the reflecting pool. I didn't bring out my microphone or my tripod today. Look at me, just using my cell phone. Look at me, guys. Look at me being all so I'm here and it's hot. I'm gonna tell you, it's really hot. And I'm sure my skin is gonna be like 2 shades light darker before I leave here. But this is the scene here in Washington, D.C. I'll point back. It's green with algae. So a former Olympian was arrested. Let me read that. Olympian arrested. Give me more. So David Hearn was a 3-time canoe former world champion. He's about 67 years old and he lives in Maryland. He was stopped at the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool during a bike ride. He says he saw a section of the blue liner peeling up and he reached down to touch it out of curiosity. U.S. Park Police arrested him and charged him with misdemeanor destruction of government property. He denies that he was vandalizing anything and says he did not remove or damage the liner. And so, as you saw, the lady said she usually picks out trash out of it, and she's like, she's not going to do anything because she doesn't want to get arrested. So a former Olympian was arrested for what they call misdemeanor, sort of vandalism. He says he saw something sticking out. He was curious and he touched it and he was arrested. So this is where we are. This is where we are. We are arguing about a reflection pool. We are arguing about this, and we're blaming vandals on trying to ruin a project that was doomed from the beginning. But I think we do this naturally in all of our lives, don't we? Sometimes we don't really take care of the problem. We just put some surface band-aids on it, right? And when it doesn't turn out well, we sort of, it's human instinct to blame other people, but we have to take responsibility. Painting a pool is not going to make it clear. I think that's sort of, I'm going to start calling him Point the Finger Donnie. Oh, that's a good thing. Are more pieces? I have not seen any floating pieces, and I'm not going to look for floating pieces because I have somewhere to go and I'm not trying to get arrested. Y'all are not trying to get me arrested here. Why are y'all trying to get me arrested in DC? I have to be somewhere, okay? It needs chemicals. Yes, it needs chemicals. It needs, I think they use hydrogen. They use ultraviolet light. It needs lots of stuff. But to make a pool this size, over 1,000 feet, 6,000 gallons of water, to keep it clear is going to be difficult, my friends. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult. Okay. I'm going to answer some of your questions if I can. I'll step down, in my shadow so I can see your comments. I wonder if the lady swims in untreated pools. I think I've seen RFK do that. That's why we don't do it. Hydrogen peroxide is the reason the paint was stripped. Possibly, yes. Extremely difficult when you have Democrats coming in and contaminating the pool. There's no evidence of that. I'm going to mute you because you're just saying unfounded stuff. It doesn't matter. I wish it wasn't an issue. Yeah, everything in America becomes an issue. Chemical engineers. Have you seen the National Guards? Yeah, the National Guards, you can see some over there. They're walking. When I was walking up, there were some National Guards. Al Jifa. Yeah. Very clever. I saw a photo of dead ducks. That's so sad. Well, don't dump Well, that's what cleans it. A therapist who needs a therapist live. Kurt, I think perhaps you may need a therapist, and that's okay. All therapists need therapists. But I don't need you here, so I'm going to block you because this is my space and I don't have to have you here. The good thing about setting boundaries is I get to choose people here and people who are not here. And I don't want to spend my day talking to people like you because I don't have to. And if you don't like my content, guess what? Guys, everyone, it's so easy to not be around people you don't want to hear from or be like instead of being a-holes. It's very easy. You do this in real life or online. You don't have to be here. I don't understand. I don't even think you know what prolapse means. So I'm going to block you. Don't waste words on them. I don't. I just want to let you know for the other people who come here. This is a place. We can have opinions. It's okay. Opinions don't scare me. I don't have any problem about your opinions. I don't even have to agree with it. I'll listen to you. But if you're rude, disrespectful, I don't want you here because I get to curate my life and I don't want real people in my life like that, and I'm not going to have them online. It's just that simple. It's a shame that what hate has done to our country. Guys, we don't have to agree about everything. That is the beauty of being different. We have disagree. Conflict is natural and normal. In your relationships, you're not going to agree about things, but there's a way to talk about your disagreement. There's a way to bring up what you want and desire and what you feel. You don't have to call people names to do it. You don't have to lie. You don't have to deflect. You can take accountability and own your opinions without all this other stuff. It's not that hard. It's very easy. Like, no one's trying to shut you up or, tell you label you. I just want you to come in these spaces, and if you have an opinion, you can say Trump is the best president in the world. That's fine. I don't have to agree or disagree. That's fine. But calling other people names, blaming a whole group of people for something, generalizations, okay? Not all Democrats are great. Not all Democrats are bad. Not all Republicans are great. Not all Republicans are bad. We don't have to generalize or exaggerate. We can just call people out for what they do. It's very simple. I don't understand. What are you doing there? So I was just showing the algae in the pool. There, people have been reporting on this. So just about a couple days after opening up the reflecting pool, algae blooms sort of sprouted, I guess, if you would say. And so I'm just showing that. Weren't people just charged for something in regards to adding chemicals? No. There was a person who was arrested for allegedly vandalism. It was a former Olympian. I don't know what else has come out so far, but he says that he just saw pieces of the blue paint peeling and he was curious about it, so he touched it and they arrested him. And there are cameras set up all around here, so there's video. There is video, so if anything, they could see. Lincoln Memorial, you see it? There's Lincoln Memorial all the way down. Would y'all like to go see Lincoln Memorial? If you want to go see, give me some taps on the screen and say yes. If you want to go see, I'll take you there. Yes? Okay. If y'all want to go see, y'all got to tap the screen. Because I can have thousands of people on here. And when I'm done, nobody gives me likes or gifts or nothing. Y'all are using, you know what? Y'all are using me. I think y'all are using me. Y'all are using me. No, I don't mind. But it would help. These broadcasts, your help, any little help gets me out here. So in the last 2 weeks, I've been in New York, where I live there. I've been in Dallas, and I've been in Washington, D.C. I want to try to do this a little bit more, travel a little bit more, giving you news and views, news and psychological views. Any help? Yes. So, your taps help, your gifts help, your donations help, travel and food. Like I spent $20 to get here. $20 from my money to tell you about what's going on. And y'all can't even tap the screen? I can't believe it. I just enjoyed the talk and the live. Thank you so much for enjoying the talk. I wish there was a way. I need to get it's really hard for me to see my phone in the day. So I'm trying to read your comments and your name. The name is smaller. Let's see. Thank you so much for watching. User, lots of numbers. Can you explain to me how the algae and democracy have anything to do with one another? Well, algae in the pool is a normal process when you have water. Democracy is really about, and the lady was saying it, we have so many things that are happening in this country, and these things like a pool, like a ballroom, seem to be top priorities of the president when people can't afford to pay rent, when there's inflation and high costs. And so when you spend millions of dollars and you seem to prioritize sort of these surface level projects over the needs. I mean, we have, again, a student loan crisis. We have rising costs due to the war. We have affordability that's been a problem for years. I mean, so when you focus your efforts and time and your ego on a pool, I think that's what the point is. It's like your priority. If you were a parent and your child didn't have food to eat and you bought a new car, people would look at you sort of oddly, right? if your focus was not on their immediate needs, people would question your leadership. I think that's what's been happening. So that's what it has. Okay. Looks like Turd Creek back there. No kidding. But can afford to harbor all the illegals. So I don't like calling people illegal, but it's more expensive to do what they have been doing over the past year. They were supposed to be targeting criminals. They were not. A vast majority of those who've been arrested and are in detention centers right now have done nothing. They were showing up to court. They were following the rules. So again, it goes against, you say one thing and do another. Everyone wants a safe country. There's no doubt most Americans want to live in a country where people are safe. Why do libs have to keep effing with it? Okay, I'm gonna delete. One thing I don't like is people who get on here and they're so like libs or MAGA or conservatives. Like, are you able to think outside of these groups? Are you able to have your own opinion? Like, you group everybody in one. It's just weird to me. Like, it's like you go to one place and read all the scripts and you say the same things. Are you able to step outside of groupthink? Are you able to think for yourself? I don't know. I just find it strange. It makes sense psychologically, how we have in-group and out-group. Everyone wants to be a part of something. But your thinking is just weird. You don't independently think critically. Here's, you can see, if you can see, can y'all see? So you can see the green. I'm walking to the Lincoln Memorial because that's what y'all asked me to do. It's okay if you're part of MAGA. I mean, that's not something I would be a part of, but if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. It has nothing to do with me until it has something to do with me and the people I care about. And I care about a lot of people, even you. Team Algae. You know, algae it's just really hard to fight. It's like, you know, a yeast infection, right? Okay, so y'all asked me to go to the Lincoln Memorial. I'm going to go to the Lincoln Memorial, and then I'm going to head home. We're not home, but I'm going to leave and go back to where I'm staying in Washington, D.C. Because I'm thirsty. I have water in my bag. I can drink that, I guess. So there's been no evidence of people doing that. I think you're listening to a president who historically just sort of says a lot of things without facts. And this is not my opinion. This is what he does. And I don't have any evidence for that. Neither do most people have evidence for that who have investigated. And so a lot of the work I do as a therapist is we look at facts. We look at what is actually being said as truth or not, and not what's imagined or believed or assumed. And a lot of people do that in their own relationships. They assume what the other person is feeling. They assume that their feelings are true. And here we deal with facts, not your feelings. Your feelings are cool and interesting, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the truth. And there's a distinction. Or correct. It's a distraction. It could be a distraction, but we're all distracted by a lot of things. We're all distracted by a lot of things. And distraction helps us to not pay attention to what's important. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to Lincoln Memorial because some of you asked. Okay, so I'm doing exercise for you guys. That's okay. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to finally lose this COVID weight. So I'm going to Lincoln Memorial for you guys. Are you ready? Y'all ready? And plus it has shade up there, so. Ooh, it's hot, y'all. I'm excited to get close to the shade. Okay. I can't see your comments yet, so we're at the Lincoln Memorial, guys. I can't remember the last time I was here and at this memorial. Well, okay, I made it to the shade. Let me read some of your comments before I go up. Yeah, I left my umbrella at home. I have a hat that covers, but I left that one at home too. Ooh, it's hot. Well, it's usually been hot, and it's usually humid in Washington, D.C. It's so humid here and hot. Okay. So y'all ready to go up? Let me know if you're ready. Give me some hearts, some taps on the screen. Let me know if you're ready. Tap, 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 and let me know if you're ready. I'm gonna go up. Come on. I need some taps on the screen so I can go up. Some taps. Some taps. Okay. A few more taps.
To see where else would I be at.
Only if I tag it? What do you mean? What do you mean tag it? I don't understand. Oh, tap. Okay, I'm gonna go up. Thank you for tapping. We're not gonna spray paint it. Oh, tag it. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, here we go. Okay. Lincoln Memorial. Okay, here we go. Thank you for watching. And I'm gonna turn around and you can see. You're welcome. So we have the stairs. And there we go. You see the reflecting pool goes between two monuments, the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial. So here we are. And the White House is in that direction. The White House is in that direction. And I'm not going there because I was tired. Come on. Spangelica, you gotta come here one day. You gotta visit just once, at least once. I used to live here. I lived here when Obama was president. And I know some people don't like Obama or whatever, but it was coming back from recession. I was in grad school. It was a really fun time. Like a really fun, peaceful time. Like all of this hate that we have now. Like, of course, we had the normal traditional politics, but it wasn't. You didn't have to like Democrats or like Republicans, but we weren't mean. It's just a different time now. It was just a different time. I loved being here during the Obama. I actually lived on 16th Street, so at the end of 16th Street was long, but at the end of it was the White House. So I like to say I lived on the same street as Obama or the president. Because it's 1600 Pennsylvania, so yeah, at the end of 16th Street was the White House. And now, yes, I live in New York City now. I live in Harlem, New York. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas. Okay, so you see that? Now. Obama did not cause separation. The separation came from how the president speaks. Before Trump, there weren't. It was not normal to talk to people like he talks to people. You would not even have a job if you talk to people like President Trump speaks to people. Try that at work, you'll be fired. Decorum has changed. You can have an opinion, you can have like beliefs, but you don't have to be mean about it. And so I'm not going to accept that. Okay, so here, Lincoln Memorial, you can see. I have not been to Delaney Hall. I thought about going, but it's the time we live in is just like, you just never know. You can think you're going to do something innocent and it turns into chaos. And I'm not trying to be in chaotic spaces. It is very hot. Look at my face. Okay. So here we are, the Lincoln Memorial. In this temple, as in the hearts of the people for whom he saved the Union, the memory of Abraham Lincoln is enshrined forever. Now that when I see this, I always think about the Planet of the Apes. Do you remember that scene, how it starts? You know, I don't know about Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico. I haven't checked into that yet, even though I am from Texas. It's beautiful, right? The craftsmanship. It's amazing. Good, Lisa. So there's some officers there, some National Guard members. And then on the sides, I think it's and then on the sides, I think it's some inscribed words. And so here's this famous 407 years ago. Our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that conceived and so dedicated. Oh, I'm hot, y'all. I can't even read. That nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this, but in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men living and dead who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract the world with little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish from earth. And he did all that without ChatGPT. All that without AI. You know, people used to be able to write. I don't know what church you're talking about.
This is cool, Tess.
And so there we go, guys. The Lincoln Memorial. You can see the reflecting pool. I think the seats. I think the result of Obama's election angered many people, and we don't have to go into that why. But if you're an American, you know the roots of this country are founded and built upon discrimination. And you may not be racist or anti-black, but there are a lot of people in this country who do not like people who are not white. That is a fact. This is not something new. Racism did not go away, my friends. We have spent 250 years trying to build equality for all. 250 years of this country, we're still working towards an ideal that was never fully set up to be realized. You had leaders who said all men are created equal and still had slavery. That's what we call cognitive dissonance. And so we're still dealing with the remnants of that system. So that's the reality. And we've made great progress. Definitely we have made great progress in this country. And there's still more to go. What works are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Well, equality and equity, they're both different words. Similar experiences, but different. And neither have been fully realized.
Fried chicken.
Okay, well, you can say that's a lie and not look at the data. That's fine. There's a thing, I can't remember the name of it, but in psychology, we talk about this thing that people who know the least are the most confident. I'm not saying that's you, but I'm just pointing out the fact that is a real scientific phenomenon. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And sometimes we think our experiences mirror the true experiences of everyone else. We call that availability bias, recency bias. I said something on, someone said something. Someone said something on one of my pages that money could be spent to feed children in America. And someone said he has seen the children in this country look like they're being fed. Oh, just because you see people who have been fed does not mean that there's not a problem. But that's the, I don't know, kind of thinking that we're faced with every day. Guys, don't name call. We don't need name callings here. Ooh, I almost fell on that step. We don't need name calling. Okay, guys. People, I'm going to call it a day. So, you saw the reflecting pool. You saw the Lincoln Memorial. There's Washington. And you can see the Capitol all the way in the back. Can you see the Capitol? The Capitol building is right behind. The U.S. Capitol is right there. I'm not going back to New York City today, but we'll be back this week. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any ideas on where I could go next or things you want to see, put in the comments and I'll see if I can go there. Thank you for watching my coverage of the Knicks win last week and the trial in Dallas and the Puerto Rican Day Parade in the last week and a half. I really appreciate it. You can tell me where to go anywhere in the country. How about that? And if I can afford it, I'll go. Or you can you can cash at me, okay? Some money. But if I, if I can afford it, I'll go. Oh, nice. You're welcome, Lisa. Thank you for joining me today. We're not all Republicans and not all Democrats. There are some good Republicans and there are some good Democrats and there are some bad Democrats. And there are some, I don't want to say bad, there are people who do not act in the best interest of the American people on all sides. So we have to learn how to decipher and choose leaders who are going to do what's best for the country. And not just a small portion. You want the best, especially for the least of these. I think we talk about how America should be a Christian nation. But if you're not protecting the poor, that's what, at least according to Christian theology, takes care of the poor and the people with the least.
Restore you and give you hope. Jesus is the hope giver. Jesus will give you hope.
Okay, speaking of Jesus, someone talking about Jesus. Okay, so I'm staying with a friend, but yes, I think hotels are generally expensive. It's just a lot of money. I used to have a family discount for hotels for Marriott. It's not called Marriott. It's called Marriott. It was nice because I could pay like $30 a night at hotels, which is amazing, right? I don't have that discount anymore. I'm so sad. So you can find deals. There's always deals. But yeah, it can be expensive depending on what type of hotel you go to. Okay, my friends, thank you all of you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time on Dr. Brandon Live. If you have some thoughts or comments, I'll go. If you have questions about psychology or the human experience or condition, you can message me and we can talk about it. I love to chat. I love to talk about all things people. Okay. I hope you have a wonderful Father's Day here in America. Take care of yourself and your family and your friends and your neighbors. Be kind. Be kind. Kindness is not a hard thing to do. You just mind your business. Don't be rude and disrespectful. You don't have to agree. It's okay. Just be kind. Jeez Louise. Okay. All right. Thank you, Gigi, for sharing. Just be kind. Now you can DM me. I always forget to check my messages, but you can DM me or you can send me an email, Brandon, BRANDON at brandonshow.com. Brandon at brandonshow.com. You can find me on my platforms, Brandon Show on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And here is Brandon America. So Brandon at brandonshow.com. You can DM me here. Yeah, those are ways to contact me. I wish I had a pet. I want a pet. I can't have a pet because I'm always traveling and doing stuff. But I love animals. I want one of those, have you seen those black and white sheep? I can't remember what they're called, but I want a sheep. I want a cow. I want a farm. I love animals. If I could have animals around me, that would be amazing. But I'll move around. Okay. Nice to meet you. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next time on live. All right. Bye-bye from DC.